Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this first episode of our stream. Going for a slightly different experience than you get from most of your streaming providers, and we will be seeing the DM's point of view in this game. I use Roll20, and I am joined by three of my fastest friends. We'll be entering a homebrew world of my own creation with lots of literary themes stolen. We join our three adventurers on a mission to help a questionable merchant named Kidac Blackbane. We're currently mulching through a swamp on the edge of a forest, going deeper inside in search of a legendary ruby of a War Mage, supposedly held in a former mage's guild. I'll pass over now as we go to Fulgur, Yjekke, and Izi on their journey.
So, what about those lizard folk? You think they're gonna come back in the dark with more? Says Yjekke, the hulking, grey-skinned half-orc, standing over 6 foot tall and pretty meaty, but with a strangely negative body language.
Shrugs Izzy. Also extremely very tall and white-haired Aasimar, tanned from sunshine and broad-shouldered, but not very bright.
We can't quite stay on this island here. We at least need to get out of water.
Oh, well.
Says
Yes.
Fulgur, the light brown, very short, like 4'2", mountain dwarf.
Kidac, a leather armor wearing a traveling merchant leading a cart, turns back to the rest of the group and responds, "Well, I've heard rumors of lizard folk and fae in these forests. Two doesn't exactly make for a raiding party. I'd vote for pushing on, for were we to stay on this here island, especially seeing as how we're in the middle of a stream. Easy pickings for them to sneak up on us. They can hide
I'm
like
not saying we should stay here, but
Start
you
to
know.
rust.
I think we should press on. Either we avoid the conflict altogether, or we get far enough away that they can't find us again.
Well,
or, we fight them, and perhaps a few more, but at least we'll be on dry land.
Maybe some high ground, so we can see them coming.
I'll leave that up to you.
Well, come on, Lamb Chop. He pulls the cart behind him. You start rolling down. It isn't a road, but it's more than a path. It's kind of a natural winding in the forest, like guides you on. A couple more hours start to creep by. The day is ticking away in the background, and you have time to chat amongst yourselves, but you're not disturbed by any more lizard folk on this journey. You do kind of crest a hill, and off in the far distance is a tower with, even from your position, maybe 15 miles away, you can see that there was what was once a shining copper disc with a symbol of a crescent moon on it has now turned to a ochery greenish color, aged by time and the weather.
Yeah, Kidac. Is this place you look for? You know this symbol?
The symbol is of Umbra, a god of sorts, though no longer worshipped. You'll see it on runes around here from time to time, and there are rumors of cults who still follow his ways, but it's more a landmark than it is a destination. Now that we've got in sight of it, if the rumors and information I paid for are right, from here we head east. In another day, we'll reach where we're going.
Very well.
But
Do you know of any good secure camping grounds around here? We don't want to get crept up on.
we could push on a little ways further. You're probably right about not camping on the top of a hill, but there's a valley between here and the next peak. Probably find somewhere lower down there to hide.
Yeah, it will work.
If you push on the cart, I will bring up the rear.
So you push on down into the valley between the two hills. You cover another maybe 3 or 4 miles before you get to a likely looking campsite. Kidac gets down. He starts setting up some tents and a campfire. There's a small trickle of water coming down and ending in a quite stagnant pond next to you. You're surrounded on 3 sides by trees with a raised elevation, hiding line of sight to yourselves from any of the surrounding hills, and it'll also offer a break for any smoke that rises from your campfire. Fairly secure position to spend the night.
All right. Well, I guess I'll set up campfire.
Simple rations tonight, fellas. Simple rations tonight. Beans, rice, and tofu. Gotta use it before it turns.
It will do, I suppose. Do you have any, herbs and spices?
Curry powder.
Yeah. We do not have this where I come from.
It'll help
Ugh.
slightly. Stick your finger in it and lick it.
Yjekke does so and starts compulsively sneezing. He looks at you, kind of hurt.
Openly laughing.
He's giving you that look like a dog that's eaten a chili. Like,
I'll
why?
give you
Why
a
would you
bro
do this to me?
bro pat on the back.
He's rubbing his nose, looking a little sheepish. He's gonna busy himself with the fire.
Oh, you'll get used to it. It only burns twice.
Oh.
So, we never did find out, Yjekke. This big hound of yours, what did you name it? Or him?
Oh, you mean dog?
Yes. Have you given your dog a name? Or is he just
Dog.
dog?
Dog. He is dog. I meet him and I say,
Accurate.
"Ah, dog!" And he comes running right up to me, wagging tail, you know? He answers to dog. I say, "Dog," he comes. Dog! The dog comes. See, dog.
Won't he do that every time someone sees him and points and says, "Oh, dog"?
He comes to you.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? I ruffle his ears. Dog.
Yeah, he is good boy. He finds me long time ago. I get thrown out of bar into ocean. Is bad time. Oh, big misunderstanding. And I come crawling out of sea, drowned, and this finds me. And, we end up spending the night huddled under a fishing pier in rain. And, we've been friends ever since. He's good boy.
You really should stop flying out of animals. I know it's
Well-
not ended badly yet.
Does he
Dog
make
is not. He is very civilized. He is more civilized than me.
does he make a habit of lying down with wild animals?
There's been some pigs he's got friendly with in the past.
Well,
Yeah, yes, is the answer. Yes.
after a night of heavy drinking, all of us have spent at least one night in the pigsty.
Yeah,
Wait.
precisely.
Wife has
Although
never
we did
been-
sleep there for almost a week. But we were very hard up for money. We got robbed badly.
puts so much faith in the fact that I have hired you to defend my caravan.
This was long time ago, and it was bad luck, We were greatly outnumbered and, already on pretty low ebb. But it's been pretty up since then, apart from little hiccup when everybody died. But, since then, me and Izzy been going pretty good,
No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we've grown from the experience.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
Winning smile.
let's hope this goes smoother than your last experiment. We'll get to our destination and you'll be handsomely paid.
Yeah, that's the spirit, man.
So, now that we're all set down and there's a stew on the go, or a curry, so to put it, have you any more questions for myself about where we're going, or are you happy enough to search for this ruby of a war mage?
Well, I mean, we could do with some more information. So, when we get to this old temple, old mage house, what you call it?
Mage's College, or Mage's Academy.
Is that
but-
like where you stick lots of mages on piece of paper, make pretty picture?
Yes. It's what's left over of an old sacked town from before the spell call.
Okay, and so we go in this old ruin and we find this gem you want, and there will be what? Angry monsters, ghosts. I mean, why has no one else taken this gem?
Angry mages?
I mean,
Well,
yes.
No one's taken the gem. Supposedly because this forest is full of fae. No. I haven't encountered anything more than a few strange smelling mushrooms.
And some big angry lizards.
They're
Did you pick the mushrooms?
no. I've learnt my lesson about unusually scented mushrooms.
Yeah, you must be careful with mushrooms, man.
Yeah, some of them you can only eat once.
Yeah, exactly.
So you gotta really make it count, stuff as many in. If you're gonna eat them, you gotta eat them good.
Man, that's always been my experience.
Well, how are we handling watches for tonight? Can everyone see in the dark?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm pretty good eyesight in the dark.
Yeah, I've got quite good night vision.
All right. Well, if anything does approach, give a holler on this. He hands over to Yjekke. Quite a long conch shell. Put it up to your lips. Howl into
Oh.
one end of it, and it'll make a racket that'll raise even the dead.
Is that a good
Yjekke,
thing?
Yjekke pulls his own hunting horn out of his pocket and says, "Ah, snap!"
Ah, well, in that case, give me back my conch.
It's a nice piece though. It's good. Can I try? Can I try one time?
You can try.
Which is what I assume a conch shell sounds when you actually blow into it.
Yeah, you haven't got the knack, but stick to your own horn.
It's getting very Lord of the Flies in here. So,
I haven't got a horn.
I haven't got one either.
Who's
So
this?
how do we want to take these watches then?
I'll go first.
I'm going to bed.
I'll
That's
take,
what you guys are for.
I'll take second watch.
I'm
That'll
not
probably get
completely
me.
comfortable in a valley.
Kidac, having employed you to be on watch, goes to bed.
Do I get the conch shell?
He's left it.
Yeah.
He's left it out by the campfire.
Before Yjekke turns in, he's gonna ruffle dog, and then sort of turn him towards Izi and be like, "If you get lonely, dog will keep you company." He's very big
Genuinely
and
happy
warm.
with that. Really genuinely happy.
And with that, Yekke's gonna turn in.
I would like to climb a couple of branches up into a tree just adjacent to where we are, just to get a bit of a better view.
Okay.
Whilst watching. And I'll gently blow on a kind of panpipey, like just to
Okay.
giggling at just, what I could blow it really hard.
Alright. Give me 3 perception checks, one each, please. For your watches.
Dog is sat at the bottom of the tree.
Such a good boy. I'll break him off a bit of a corner of a ration. Drop it down.
Oh, he is very happy about that.
I'm
But yeah.
sleeping in this little tent, hoping that it's not just like a supplies tent.
It's not. It's
It's a little dwarf-sized tent.
they've clearly been set up for you guys. Like get the small one, and Kidac gets the bigger one. But they're waterproof. He supplied you with bedrolls and blankets and all of the accoutrement that you would need. He's even gone so far as several planks of wood are kept stored inside the cart, so when it has to be put down on wet ground, it gives you a few inches away from the cold, wet ground. It's humble, but it's comfortable.
This is only my second night with these two, and I'm not entirely comfortable sharing a tent with them yet.
You can tell from what he's gathered that he kind of only expected to hire 2, but he has equipment for an extra person for you to bring someone along.
Well, I'm only like a half anyway.
Fair.
But then again, Yjekke and Izi are both like twice the size of a normal person.
Thank you.
Actually, how tall is Kidac?
4'9".
Okay, so yeah, I'm the shortest, except for Dog. And Dog's already like half my height.
If
And
he
to be
stands
fair,
on his
if
hind
dog-
legs.
Yeah, if he jumps up on his hind legs, he can put his front paws on your shoulders easy.
Yeah, I could dance with dog, and it wouldn't look as awkward as somebody else, but more at the same time.
Okay.
You could probably ride him into battle, maybe.
I could put him on my lap.
With the passing of evening, there's nothing more remarkable occurs than a glorious vision of the two full moons lining up with a star sign to form a very familiar face that looks down upon the world once every 12 days. Dawn rises on a dry day.
Do I recognize that?
Yeah, it would be a constellation that you're familiar with, because of the navigation or the migration of where the moons go during their phase and where these particular clusters of stars have lined up. It makes what a happy little face that looks down upon the world.
What was its name?
I guess we'd all have different names for it, wouldn't we?
Dunno.
You would
That's
all have different
fantastic.
names for it. It feels like it would be. And where we have different names for constellations here, you'd have different names for it. Though generally, the name for this constellation is Molba.
So I guess that's probably what Izi and Fulgur would know it as. Yjekke's probably got some weird old orcish name for it.
I would have.
The face of Fulgur.
I would have spent the majority of my watch when it seemed safe, taking out the sheaf of paper that I bought in town and kind of transcribing the stars and the relation to the moon and everything. Just making a little star chart, mapping out the night sky.
Spent quite a long time sailing and should be fairly au fait.
Okay. As I said, the next morning has arisen. Nothing too dangerous went on during the night, and Kidac serves what's left over from last night's dinner, this time with naan breads. Kind of cooked up on a hot stone that has been heating next to the fire overnight.
Better the next day?
What's the weather like?
Dry.
Ugh.
Cold but dry.
Doing that, warming your hands by the fire in the morning. Steamy breath. Good morning, Izi. You sleep well.
Like a baby. I will nip off and just discreetly disrobe and just have a quick splash in the stream.
Okay. While you're there, you can see two large eyes are watching you from submerged in the water.
Which direction?
Directly to your north. And
Do
upon
they look lizard folky?
they're definitively reptilian, though it's more likely a large toad in this case. Not quite the bulk to be a lizard folk.
In that case, I will put my clothes back on in a less panicked manner. Head back over here and inform you guys of the sodding great toady looking thing in that water over there. I
When
don't
you
know if
say
they make
big
good eating.
toad, are we saying like, size of cat? Or are we saying like size of horse?
Size of Fulgur.
Okay, so big
Big
enough.
Yeah,
Big enough.
I mean, I know I'm not that much of stature, but for a toad,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
Could make for
definitely
some
a
good
box.
protein.
think of the ribbit on that one.
Actually, I think I just saw it pop up for a second there.
It did. Kind of
Putting my armor on.
comes up with these large eyes. Putting heavy armor on does take 10 minutes.
I'm aware.
I mean, are the rest of us geared up, given that we've been getting ready and stuff?
Well, you wear heavy armor, don't you?
I mean, yeah, but we
They don't
went
wash.
disrobing to wash.
Disgusting boys.
You cannot sleep in heavy armor. You can sleep in light
No,
armor.
I know.
But
But we've gotten up and had breakfast, and it's like,
I've got.
have we
scale
geared up in that time?
mails. What's scale mail considered? Is that medium or light?
scale
It's
mail
either
is
medium or heavy, I
Scale
think.
mail is
It's
medium.
Medium.
But yeah, I would say you've had time. The toad doesn't seem to be overly aggressive. It's just staying in its pond.
And how big is it to look at?
Looking at it now, there's a 2-foot space between its eyes.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's bigger than Fulgur, you know?
Yeah, that glimpse I got of it, I'm inclined to agree with you. Yeah.
Hmm.
In fairness, I thought the eyes was the extent of its head.
How about we, finish up breakfast, get our stuff together, and get a move on before that thing takes offense to our presence?
Could well spit poison a very, very head.
I mean, goodness knows what it
Well,
can do. It's giant angry frog, maybe.
If what I've heard is right, they're less likely to, spit poison at you, and more likely to try swallow you down in one go and then hop away.
Well, that still doesn't sound that great, you know?
Yeah, I still don't think I want either of those things.
Perhaps let's take the camp down and move on.
Yeah, I'll help Kidac break camp. Move things a little bit faster.
Yeah, I'll be like I'll pack up my gear, but then I'll sort of spend most of my time just keeping an eye on this toad.
I am finishing re-armoring and shielding, and then I will also contribute to the packing.
It takes kind of 20 minutes to get everybody armored, everything down, the campfire put out and buried, and the toad kind of watches you with these alternatively blinking, heavy eyes, but never comes and bothers you directly.
Well, I'll just keep an eye on him too.
Live and let live. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he likes you, Izzy.
Blushes. Girlish giggle. I will call
Maybe
him
you
Fred.
kiss him, he turn into prince.
Something that size, I would want an emperor, thank you. However, I'm not going to take that chance. Shall we get moving?
Yeah, lead the way, Mr. Kidac.
Yes, we head east today. We kind of followed a winding route through the valley for a while, with the rolling hills on either side of you kind of raising and dipping. And comes to maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you round a bend. And down ahead of you, you see a ring of circles with a treasure chest buried in the middle. Kidac stands and back and goes, May well be some kind of fey trap. Though
It does look very suspicious.
I do like their circles.
it's
I haven't
also
been
true.
adventuring too long, but it does look like a trap.
Yeah, but it's also true that the Fae can't lie. So if they've put a treasure chest in there, well, it does have to
I
have
mean,
something
it
in
does
it.
not say this chest is full of treasure. It just says is box. I mean, can't just be box.
Well, I know your orc guys aren't quite as accustomed to it, but I definitely see a gleam of gold.
Well, I've seen some ore that looks like gold, but it ain't.
Yeah, and you know, I have encountered more than few magical illusions in my time, sir. I would need closer look to fully ascertain, and probably much training in magic. But you know, is definitely thing.
I mean, I'd imagine we could at least approach it and try to get a better idea what's going on.
Well, we need to go past it. So whether or not you want to go through the circle, that's up to you.
But I think,
Maybe we ask the circle.
yeah,
I don't think Circle will reply. I think local Fae maybe are watching. I think maybe we break Circle, they come try break us.
So
we
we
could-
ask local fae.
we could skirt past the circle first.
I think might be wiser.
Can we without disturbing it?
I think so, as long as I mean, Kidac seems to have pretty good control over Lamb Chop.
Oh yeah, old Lamb Chop, he'll be able to get by, no trouble at all.
But why don't we go past the circle? We can kind of assess the situation, and then decide if we want to ask the local Fae and Fauna if you know, this is something worth investing time in.
No, getting entranced now.
Okay. Move on down by the circle. There's nothing there that is objectively dangerous. And Kidac and Lamb Chop are able to move through without any trouble at all.
As we've moved directly past the circle, you know, having a closer look at it, is there any, you know, what can we see from right outside the circle?
They're unusually colourful mushrooms. One is red with little yellow polka dots dotting its surface, and the other is brown with orange flecks to the fleshy protuberances that are kind of fanned out beneath it, curled up just slightly as the edges, and a heavy, earthy smell is floating through the air. It feels comforting and familiar.
Hey, Kidac, any of these mushrooms the ones that you was talking about last night?
Nope, so don't eat them. Unless you're sure what they are, don't eat them.
Use good general advice.
Pretty much for everything you ever encounter. You don't know exactly what it is, don't put it in your mouth.
I cannot believe I forgot last night.
Is there anything about collecting them? How does one discover anything without a bit of experimentation?
Yeah, that's what
Right.
wizards are for.
I don't know. I ain't no mycologist, so I couldn't tell you one way from another what these mushrooms may do.
That's the way you become a mycologist.
Let me have close look. Yakko's gonna inspect the mushrooms, see if he's ever seen anything like them before.
Give me a nature check, please.
8.
You have never seen anything like this before.
Well, I
These
make
strange mushrooms, I recommend not eat.
Because I backpacked up across the continent from here. I may have seen some, or would they just not have grown down there?
Too cold.
That makes me want them more.
And easy. When we get to a big seaside town, they will have all sorts of fungus from all sorts of places.
Nod like a child that's been told it can't have a donut now, but you can have 3 if you're good when you get to the end of the car journey.
Now that we're a little bit closer to it, what are we seeing in the honeypot?
A large pile of coin, a silver engraved sword, and a half buried chest. The circle itself alternates between brown, red, brown, red, brown, red, all the way around.
That is a interesting pattern to these mushrooms.
Does the chest and the gold and the sword, do they all look real?
Yes.
Like really real?
Yes.
Definitely 100% not an illusion.
Nat, you're a fighter, don't metagame.
I mean, he's squinting at it.
Yes.
I'm just saying. I mean, give me my character's perspective. To what? For all intents and purposes, for Yjekke,
They're mushrooms.
it looks totally real.
Yeah.
No, not the mushrooms. The chest.
Oh,
the gold.
yeah, no, it's there. Grass.
It's really
The grass
really,
is
really
the grass
real.
is bent. The soil has been disrupted. The sword it's there. It's casting shadows.
was
They
gonna-
all go the right direction.
It's gonna be my question. Like, does the soil look disrupted, like it's been buried, or does it look like it's been unearthed?
It's half stuck out of the ground. So
So it's just kind of clean then.
yeah, it's like it's been pushed out of the ground.
I mean, it's very tempting to go and just see what happens, but I mean, angry Fey woods, maybe not good idea. What
Maybe
you think,
angry?
Fulgur?
Yeah, I'm not inclined to annoy any of the Fey folk.
Yeah,
It is.
I
my
don't know
understanding-
much about them, but every time I meet them, it's big danger, weird times.
I mean, I could always use that gold. I don't think I could use the saw.
I mean, never have too many swords, you know.
Well, we can't even have the sword in the town that we're getting at.
Oh yes, good point. And good edge too.
Hey.
Mm,
I'm gonna try to slap Yjekke on the back for his joke and probably hit him on the rump. And then just kind of sheepishly change the subject and start looking around. I'm gonna see if there's anything watching us.
Give me a perception check.
17.
There's nothing watching you.
Well, I'm not seeing anything watching us. No,
I mean,
otherwise.
maybe it's just abandoned here. You never know. Hang on, 1 second. Yakka's gonna call out. Hello? Anyone around? This chest, this gold sword here. Anyone want to claim it? No one says anything. We just go take it. Is that cool?
Don't mind if I pick some mushrooms whilst we're at it. For science.
At this point, you hear kind of bellowed from a little way away. It's like, either risk your lives in the mushrooms for the coin or keep coming. But one way or another, we've stood around here long enough now to make a decision.
Yakka looks around for a moment, startled, and then goes, "Oh, it was Kidac. Yes. Oh well. I don't know, guys. These mushrooms look mighty suspicious."
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Yeah, I think maybe we call it. It is some gold, but yeah.
I will toe the party line. I am not very intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I guess we walk on by this time. We'll leave the treasure for the mushrooms, I guess.
Okay. You move on past out of reach of here. Your next night passes much as the last one did. Today, the full moons have waxed so that familiar face in the sky is gone. And you arise on the morning of your third day's travel to the forest. Set 4 off, you track through, and you come to the town that had intended to get to in the first place. There are 4 small smattered buildings spread, all wrapped in deep creeping vines. Kidac poses the question of definitely the place. So how do they do that? This is definitely the place. So where we're gonna find this ruby, I'm not sure.
You think maybe buildings go underground? There's not much up here.
Don't know, to be honest, though. The most likely seems to be the ruins of that mage's tower. But how do we do this? Do we want to go into the closest first, or the furthest first?
I think first things first, we should scout entire location. Just quickly, quick glance in all buildings, make sure nothing gonna jump out at us too quickly. And make horse safe, you know. We don't want to go rushing in too quickly here.
Let's wait a few minutes, and I will go tie up Lamb Chop a few feet back. Kind of walks away with the horse. You have a couple of moments amongst yourselves while he goes into the woods to find somewhere to lash the horse's reins to.
Okay, guys, we need to quickly scout all these buildings, make sure there's nothing waiting for us that's gonna surprise us, creep out behind. We do this quick and neat, you know? All as team, one building at a time.
Which way first?
We go like your fancy clocks go, you know, round in circle.
Which way?
Yjekke points to this large building on the right first.
Well,
I like that idea. Just work our way round, get back here, and meet up with Kidac.
Yeah, see what we see. But if you see anything that does not immediately attack, you know, do not antagonize. We are simply here on information gathering.
Well, alright.
I'll lead the way.
Alright. Yjekke's going to, you know, kind of be a bit sneaky, but he's not very stealthy. But, you know.
At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to give me initiative rolls, and we'll run in turn order.
Cool.
Okay. Bringing up the rear.
Okay. Kidac and Dog. Izzy, you go first.
Like loudly. Because I can't do anything else. But cautiously, around between the trees, poke my head.
Looking in, it's a little bit difficult to make out what this building once was, as kind of plants have erupted through the floorboards and some of the foundations themselves have been overtaken by it. But eventually, your eyes fall upon a large chimney with an anvil. A set of tools were here, though most of the wooden handles have been burnt away by a fire in quite distant past. And looking over it, there's lots of very intricate, fine instruments for interacting with very delicate little objects. Looks to be a forge of some kind, but for something more complicated than horseshoes and hammers.
There's certainly some smithing has been going on.
Yeah.
That's some fancy smithing at that. I will.
Well, this was supposed to be Mage College, right?
Magic smithery. Shoulder barge through the plants while saying, excuse me. Or 6. Anything in this kind of gap here?
No, most of what you're seeing is kind of destroyed rubble, but there's a slight whizzing noise coming from a sealed box. It's been nailed shut in front of you. So it's this constant kind of sound.
I am going to use a portion of. Actually, no. I'm gonna. Guys, fizzing box. Any thoughts other than step back from it?
It sounds. I don't know. Maybe show Kidac. Maybe what he's looking for. You never know.
Okay, send him this way.
Oh well.
Oh,
All right. You kind of pull a crowbar out.
and then we'll move aside. Part of Dash's bonus option.
I was gonna say, given that I'm gonna go in there as well.
Okay. And Fulgur?
Yeah, I wasn't going to go in. I was going to kind of survey the exterior.
Yeah, no, that's good. You keep watch, Fulgur.
I want to take a look at the rubble. Like, is it all stonework? Are there any bricks that are still kind of intact?
Upon coming and looking at it with your, kind of dwarven stone cunning, you can see that the pillars of this building look as if they were formed out of, like, true earth, rather than having been hewn into shape. There's no carver's tools, there's no masonry tools on it at all.
I'm like, I can see them in there, right? It's
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of collapse.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like these buildings weren't so much built, at least this one, but more formed.
What, like grown?
Almost. I mean, I know
Hmm.
some mages can stone shape, and I almost want to say that's how they built this.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
Well,
Sounds like a dwarfy kind of stuff, though, you know?
Well, are there any tables or stools intact? Can you see what the height of them are?
all of the rest of it is burnt away. All of the furniture that was here, anything that wasn't stonework, has been destroyed by a fire long enough ago that it's been reclaimed by the forest.
There's no examples of the sort of, because obviously you said it was a kind of a smith, blacksmith, but fancy. There's no examples of any tools or anything that's been made here.
Looking at it, it's very fine tweezers and thin metallic probes that have a magnet on the end for lifting things up.
Yeah, Yjekke's gonna pick one up and kind of like, twizzle it around a little. And then he's going to discover that it's magnetic and he can pick other things up with it. And he's going to actually find that quite entertaining.
So, shall we open the fizzing box?
Yeah, look, I find magic wand.
Maybe don't go touching anything here. Stick
Oh,
his crowbar,
drops it.
his crowbar into the top and kind of yank down on one end of it, and the box pops open, and this tightly bound mechanical contraption pops out. It's a small, kind of like 1 foot across, ladybird looking brass construct has popped out. It's rearing back with this thin metal spike protruding out of its mouth, lunging towards you.
Yeah, careful.
Okay. And it pulls back using its proboscis to push forth and jab into Kidac, though it stops by his armor just in time. Okay, Kidac, in response to what was very clearly a dangerous assault, he's going to swing out with his war pick as hard as he can for an 18, which will be enough to hit the creature for 4 damage. So it's exceptionally dangerous with these gleaming, repeatedly stabbing spearheads coming out of the front of its mouth. Dog.
A dog, hearing the commotion, is going to start barking and is going to run towards the sort of entrance we forced to the building. But that's about as far as he's going to get. But he's just woofing.
Okay, Izzy. Izzy. Yjekke.
Are you muted?
I'm going to scream and run around behind and bash it over the head.
17 hits for 9 damage. That's a good blow. The outer shell of the creature comes off and it starts kind of spraying cogs out. Your smite is... That's good. 15 is enough.
That's
that
very
kills
good.
it.
That's max
Kind of
damage.
Hits, rolls out, and this spray of silver and bronze spreads over the ground. It sounds like twinkling coins hitting it's kind of leaf covered but stone underfoot floor.
Good hit, Izzy. You really smashed that bug.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Yeah, good question. Kidac?
Not anything I've heard of before. So it looks like
Maybe we should make
some kind of mechanical monster.
I have never seen anyone build anything like this. This is crazy, man. Look at all these parts. And it just move and it act on its own. I mean, I've seen Golem, but then it's like whole thing magic. This is like, I don't know, man.
perhaps the next time we come across something that's whizzing and clicking, we leave it alone. At least for a little while. Till we can figure out what this sort of thing is.
Well,
Have a look here. Let's see how it worked. He leans down. He picks up sort of 2-inch long gemstone, and inscribed on the side of it is a feather with a snake coiled around it. Never seen nothing like this before, but it looks like some kind of magic to me.
I'm
yeah,
that is quite small. It's very intricate looking from what I could see, kind of exploding after Izzy hit it. And I would just have to imagine that to make something that complex, probably start bigger.
is maybe a thing to think about. But in meantime, maybe you want to scoop all parts in bag and take back to town. Someone might pay some money for some of that, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
You want to add that to your inventory? It is 3 pounds in weight, and you can just call it a bag of mixed steel and bronze cogs and plates.
Anything else of interest in that building?
Unless you want to gather up the tools, some of which are silver, which you can go ahead and do. There's nothing really distinctive in this building.
I think silver's good.
Okay.
Are there any...
How
Sorry.
accursed do the tools look?
not. They don't appear to be where the magic originates from. They're just made from a metal that won't spark.
Let's get the silver tools. You can always smelt it down.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever we can't use, we can sell.
Yep. You can add that to your inventory. That's 15 gold worth of silver tools.
Are we doing a cart inventory or individually?
You do have a cart inventory, I believe. Hang on, let me give it to you now. Right, so if you go into camp, and cart is in there, I will move it because that's a place that'll be forgotten about. I'll just put it under. Underneath everybody, on the character sheet, there is cart. You can treat that as your collective inventory. I've got my own for lamb chop. In case.
Okay. Are we still moving in turn order?
Who's going to add that to the cart? And the £3 of cogs and
I'll
gears.
pop it in. Oh, I've got the £3 of cogs and gears in my bag.
Hey folks,
And
this is what real D&D looks like. It's a lot of inventory management and deciding who's carrying what.
Oh
but
yeah.
it's kind of half the fun of the game.
50 gold pieces of silver tools.
Yes, 15.
15.
15. 1-5.
Am I looking in the wrong cart? Because this doesn't seem to have an inventory.
It looks like he's not done being made yet.
Oh. Yeah, now
It's
he
an
should have
NPC.
an inventory.
Yep, there he
Yeah.
goes.
And it has a weight capacity of 2,000. So
Duly noted.
I'm not going to work out what the strength is, but it just once it gets over 2,000, it would have it. I think it's something like 15 times your strength score is carry capacity, but it doesn't matter. You're a while away from 2,000 yet.
I will carry the tools until we get back to the cart, if the cart's back at the entrance.
Oh, I just wrote it in the cart's inventory. But it can be there until you put it in there.
The box and then.
No worries. It's the only thing that's in there. It's not going to use up £2,000 of
exactly.
Wait. All right. Is it my go?
Yes, it's your go.
All right. So, having we've gathered up the bits and whatnot. Yjekke's going to sort of go out to Dog, give him a little pat. You go look after cart. Keep lamb chop safe.
Okay.
And
you'll toddle off and go back to the cart.
And yeah. Next building, guys. And he's going to use the rest of his movement to dash around to here.
Okay. So coming down to this building, it's still got some flags flapping in the wind. They were red in color, but over the years they've faded to a darker purple. And whatever had been embroidered on them, it has been long picked away by birds to make their nests in the forests. So discerning what they are isn't, but the only real thing of note standing in here is a solitary, shining, silvered armor. Unlike the rest of the place that has been
stood up on its own.
Stood on a pedestal on its own. Unlike the rest of the place that looks to have been touched by time and aged away, this hasn't. It still gleams.
Yjekke's looking at it kind of suspiciously. Given the last thing that wasn't falling apart tried to kill us. Hey guys, look in here. Big suit of shiny armor. It's kind of weird.
Don't touch it with your fingers.
Well, I'm gonna wait for the rest of you.
They'll probably also try and kill us. I'm getting that vibe. We're not welcome here, Al.
I'll come up next to Yjekke and try to look at the armor too.
It does gleam. It is unusually clean, almost magically clean.
Is it gleaming not like it's being lit from the sun?
No, it's gleaming as if it was polished this morning, but it is gleaming as if where the sun is bouncing off its surface.
Okay. And that is quite suspicious.
I mean, it's not like someone is gonna come in here and just clean that, and then, I mean, look at the rest of this place.
I agree.
I have literally slept in pigsties more appealing.
You say that about most things.
It's quite clean looking armor, and given Izzy's the only one of us that seemed to bother with any kind of this morning, maybe that's something she might be interested in.
Yeah, I do not like to. It can be dangerous going in water you do not know.
Well,
I used to be carefree as child, and then I jump in water one time, and oh, boom! Big elemental come out of nowhere, tried to snatch me. If my mother was not still alive back then, I would have been goner for sure. Ever since, water, kinda creepy.
Cleanliness is next to godliness. How long has it been before you'd washed before you got in that water? No wonder the elemental was upset.
well, it doesn't seem to have a gem attached to it, so maybe we just pass this one by.
It's not worth dying over.
Yeah,
We
well, we put a pin in this, and we see about the rest of building.
Yeah, we can take a look at it on our way out.
Okay. Kidac is going to hold back. Izzy, your turn.
I am going to head over this way to come out. Is this going to be difficult terrain to clamber over?
Yes.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looking for anything suspicious along the way.
Nope. Nothing suspicious along the way. You managed
Clear
to
around there, guys.
deftly avoid a little bit of poison ivy, but nothing more dangerous than an itchy plant.
Is it?
On to the next one.
Alright. So, given that it's Yjekke now, he's going to move up towards this big jumble of, well, what looks like kind of round towers. I don't know. What am I looking
So
at?
you come up and you can see this would have been once the largest structure in the area, though it's now the towers have kind of sumped in and are leaning on each other, holding themselves up, and they form a dark crevice about 20 feet above where you are, looking out down onto the area. With your what's your passive perception score? You might see something.
Let me
Passive
double check.
is 11. Yeah. This one big blinking eye is staring out of the shadow at you. It's green with a black line down the middle of it and gold flecks staring
Do
and
I
blinking
have any
slowly.
idea what might look like that? One giant eye with the weirdness?
Give me a nature check, please. Unless you have proficiency with Arcana.
I do not.
Then a nature check, please.
A 5.
You would have heard of a Cyclops.
Guys, I think big, angry, one-eyed creature up there. And I'm gonna fucking shoot an arrow in its eye.
As you draw
Go
your
on.
bow back, waiting to shoot, voice goes, ow! You not going to shoot me like you weren't able to shoot your chief. You'll just get beaten back again.
Yjekke's gonna hesitate hard. How do you know that?
I know things. They whisper things to me and I know them.
Okay. Yeah, Yjekke's just gonna take the dodge action, I think. He's just feeling pretty insecure about himself right now. But yeah. Guys, you heard that, right?
Why have you come to our place?
We came here looking for a gem.
You come for my treasure. I'll not give it to you.
I mean, it is our employer Kidac who wants gem. You know, he maybe cut a deal with you. He wants it quite bad.
I don't know, Kidac. Come closer so we can hear your secret.
No, why don't you come out here and then we can all talk in open like friends?
Oh, the light hurts my eye. I prefer the shadows.
Well, then I guess we can talk like this. It's not so bad.
We'll have to go. No gems today. The ruby you
Okay.
want. All I've got left from when they burnt this place down.
Okay. Well, I mean, Yjekke's go is over. He's
Fulgur.
dodging.
I can hear their conversation from here.
Yeah.
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 I mean, there's some treasure not that far from here if you prefer that one instead, and we could take what you've been sitting on.
Go and get it for me so I can see. And then maybe we can trade. Why would I give up what I have for what I might get?
Well, sure. I mean, how long have you been here?
I don't know.
Treasure's
When was the
probably old.
fire?
Worthless.
Who are you talking to?
Izzy, you might want to.
Can't be worthless if you're here to get it.
We're here because it's a curiosity, not because it's expensive.
Curiosity killed the cat, dear. Don't you know?
I am more of dog person.
Yes, I can tell. You got yourself stabbed in a bar. Then Made friends with that hound of yours when you were down on your luck. Before sleeping in a pigsty with a thief.
It is no secret, but how do you know these things? Who tells you my secrets?
They do.
Who is they?
The whispers of magic.
I'm gonna like we're in dirty, gravelly ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of toddle up a little bit closer to Yjekke while he's talking and bend down and pick up a rock and smear a little bit of phosphorescent moss on it, cast light on the stone, and toss it towards the eye.
Scurries back up the wall out of the way, but you can see this kind of foul, twisted form that was once humanoid, but its limbs are a kilter and it's partially scaled, partially feathered, with a single large eye and an open mouth with an oversized tongue that lolls out as the Nothic comes into view.
That is quite the disgusting creature.
Fulgur Flintmane. What secrets do you have? A family
That's-
abandoned.
I mean, I wouldn't say abandoned. I still write. They just don't write back.
Yeah. But who provides for them now while you're off on this adventure, Fulgur?
Well, they take care of themselves. They got their friends and neighbors.
Is that how you sleep at night? Off to count the stars.
Don't let him get to you, Fulgur. This twisted creature.
I do not like this thing, Yjekke.
Hmm. Now that you can
Gives me creeps.
see it, he's got a silver locket with a large red gemstone hanging around its neck and just the remainders of tattered robes.
Fell creature. You know some of our secrets. Why not tell us some of yours? How did you come to be in this place?
Always in this place. His home.
Wait, was this your home when it was a home?
I don't know about the before. But there was fire. Pain. And then Nothic heard them. And now I know secret. Secrets like Yjekke, who is shame of his pride. Filthy half-blood.
They are blind. I have my strength. I will prove it. I'll prove it to you.
Not enough, though. They beat you down and cast you out. Now you are a strong man among little people. Never enough for your own.
I
Yeah,
feel
well.
that was a slight on me. Was that a slight?
Come then, little person. Why don't you come down here and face me? And I'll show you.
So angry. Makes you stupid.
Yeah, well, what made you stupid?
No, Vic's not dumb. I know things.
You hear things and you repeat them like parrot bird.
I know you won't be able to get me with that sword of yours.
Yeah, well, how about this? And I'm gonna shoot him for real this time.
Alright, roll your attack.
Longbow. Oh, why did that not? Oh, no. Okay. That button didn't work. Let me try an alternative. A 24.
You loose the arrow through and it clips the creature high in the shoulder as it turns, starting to gallop on all fours towards you as it hits the ground. It seems to be starting to run, push through, and it gives Fulgur a chance to respond.
It's running at us.
Yeah, it's coming. It's hit the ground on all fours and it's starting to run towards you.
Okay, because yeah, if it's my turn, I was going to load up a guiding bolt and chuck it at it.
It is your turn.
Yeah. So as it's running, I'm twisting my hands around and I'm getting like a radiant ball and I just throw it at it headlong.
Okay, so the
That's a
bolt
17 to hit,
comes
15
out,
radiant.
hits the creature, and there's a splash of magic as it bounces off its skin. 15 is good. It's not happy. And close the distance between you comfortably, coming this side of Yjekke, lashing up with these long hooked claws on its left arm and foot, both coming up to pierce down into your flesh. An 11 and 16 are too low. Backs out.
Yeah,
going
Yaka's
this
dodging and weaving out of the way. Surprisingly limber for his large frame.
Comes back out this way, procking an opportunity attack as it moves through, nudging
I'll
the armor
I'll-
in the process.
I'm
The
gonna
next attack against it gets advantage because of the guiding bolt.
so I'll take a regular longbow attack, not at disadvantage then. As I duck out of its last attack, I've whipped another arrow out. Yaka just ducks down, and as it ducks back, he just looses it, aiming for the sort of lower abdomen.
Alright, roll your attack.
An 18
18 hits.
for 7 damage.
Okay. Kidac hearing the commotion. Yeah. So dash.
Kidac, Izi, you might want to get down here.
And the
I do
armor
want
is,
to get down there.
the armor is going to hop off its pedestal, come forward to engage with Kidac, swinging wildly with its arms slamming down. So it misses, and then Izzy, you have a chance to respond.
I'm gonna come running in. Can I hit it from here, or will I need to go to the left one more? Like, I don't know how big the wall is.
No,
there.
you could hit from there. You can hit from there.
Right, and as I come running up, I am going to be battle axing
A pirate
over the
and a
head
black
shot.
sheep. The 16 is too low. The armor blocks it. It bounces off its chest with a clang. The Nothic turns around, its lull wagging as the two of you have come into its range, clasping at its head. It's, "No! A pirate and a black sheep, driven away, searching for redemption that will never come? Can you get that much hate? Can you make up for your crimes? Yjekke.
Alright. Yjekke's not taking kindly to this loudmouthed creature. He's gonna take a step round, get a clear shot, and he's gonna knock another arrow in his longbow. Take aim and loose. 14.
Kind of moves down, crouching onto its left and then rolling to its right, out of the way of the arrow, comes back up, licking and goes, not half good enough. Nothing more than a half-breed.
Yjekke just growls in response.
Fulgur.
Foul creature.
I'll come down to get Kidac out of my view. Like I think this thing's lived far long enough, Yjekke. I don't like that it keeps spilling all our secrets. I'm lifting my hand up again, and just the sound of a bell starts ringing, and I'm going to toll the dead. So that's a DC 12 wisdom.
Thank you. Save wisdom. Well, go ahead and roll your damage for me, because that's a success.
Yep, and
7. That's
damage.
good. Creature looks badly wounded now.
Just shut your trap, Northic.
It's going to disengage, and it's going to run. Okay. Kidac. Swing down. And stuck fighting where he is, so he's going to attack with his warpath. 14 is too low. He misses. And the armor is going to swing at him. For a critical fail, he swings wildly, opening himself up for retaliation. Any attacks against him until the start of his next turn will have advantage. First attack against him until the start of his turn will have advantage. Sorry. Izi.
We're going for a roundhouse swing.
That's too
Add
low.
advantage.
You do have advantage, so roll again.
Add advantage.
Oh,
Still
and
too
that
low, I'm afraid.
again, horribly flailing.
No, so puts his two hands
It's
up
good
in front
armor.
of him and blocks the blow on its armor, pushes your sword back. Its empty helmet swings down, these purple glowing eyes, the only thing that occupy it.
My
Yjekke.
mouth's rather agape for this.
Alright. Yjekke, incensed at this creature's plain rudeness, to be honest, is going to chase around this way to get a better angle on it and loose another arrow, trying to bring it down. With a 15.
Hits. 5 is good. It's kind of, your arrow hits it and it falls to the ground. It turns and rounds on you. Bloodied now and battered, it jumps forward, trying to rip and tear at your flesh. It swings twice with its claws. Both are good. The first one for 6 slashing damage opens up a wound. The next one is critically damaging as it gets to the flesh below your armor, dealing another 8 more on top of that. So that's 14 total.
Ow.
Fulgur.
Fulgur, it's vicious!
Yeah, I said when I said shut your trap, I didn't mean on Yjekke, and I'm still ringing that bell. I just do another toll. So it's another DC 12.
Got ya.
Oh,
15,
man.
so it avoids the damage this time and returns its attention to Yjekke, clawing and biting down into him as hard as he can. Tearing through. The first one is good for 5 slashing damage. The second one misses, tearing up a clump of earth next to you that's been trampled to mud with the blood that is now flowing. Kidac is going to take one step this way to give it a position on the armor, attacking it from the rear, swinging hard with his war pick, trying to drive it through the back of the creature's skull. He bashes down as hard as he can, and it's good. It finds its way in. Some of that purple light leaks out of the creature's eyes, revealing a dead, ghostly skull underneath for just a moment. Turns, flailing, swinging its arm out behind it, contorting, twisting 180 degrees at the waist like no man could, slamming its fist down onto Kidac, who just manages to get a block up before Izi can respond.
I'm chucking the shield. Oh my god.
Your shield doesn't hit the ground fast enough as you swing, just grasping on it, but it glances your blow the wrong way and you shatter stone on the other side, though. Don't make contact with the armor itself. Yjekke.
Alright, so Yjekke, somewhat perturbed by this thing ripping chunks out of him, is going to cast his bow aside and drawing his scimitar in one smooth motion as a strike as he falls back away from the creature. Well, for a 10, which I'm assuming is too low.
Slinks out of the way, rolling onto one side, scuttling out as your sword catches nothing but now blood entrenched mud that splatters up on either side, coating you and
But
it.
I'm going to action surge, and as it rolls out of the way, I'm going to double back, whipping the scimitar around over my head and bringing it down onto the...
It's moving too quickly out of your grasp.
Oh, yes, it is. Although I'm going to use Second Wind as my bonus action, regain some hit points.
And then Fulgur, it's back to you.
Yep, the bell's not helping me, so I'm switching up my actions a little bit, and I'm going to try a Sacred Flame this time. So I'm just getting that ball of energy ready, and I'm
What's the save on that?
loving it. Like that is going to be a dex save.
You
DC
D12.
6.
17. Right, so the Nautic now
You
still
gotta hit this thing, Yjekke.
still engaged. It's going to swing once more down onto Yjekke. It's not good enough. It was going to try reach out again to grasp it. 22 because of the modifier. Oh, I tell a lie. 18 is your AC, so you take 6 from the first one, and you take 1 failed death save from its second attack.
Why?
Because it attacks twice.
Yeah, well, why do I take a death save?
18.
I'm on 9 HP.
Oh, okay.
18.
Sorry. I thought you were on 6 HP. That's my mistake. Yeah. You're then down. You're down.
Why? No, hang on. I used
So-
Second Wind, so I was back up to 15 HP. So we did 6.
And okay. Sorry. I thought you were on 9 HP after the second wind. My bad.
No.
You're fine. Okay. The armor is going to twist back around, back to the correct orientation to try and hit, but he's just flailing wildly, confused by your positioning, and he misses. And Izi?
Why won't this thing go down?
That's better. And then do you want to smite as well?
I think I do. Yes.
Right, that hits, and then roll your smite, which costs you your second spell slot.
Yeah.
Ten's good. So that's a blast, and it seems as if some of the energy is driven out of the creature. Purple wisps fill the air, seeping out of the edges of the armor, and there's this deafening shriek comes from inside of the creature, and it's a high-pitched whistle that fills the air with an almost tangibly uncomfortable tone. Yjekke.
Okay, so Yekka's feeling the pressure, but he really wants to prove this creature wrong. So a scimitar is the best way for him to do that at the moment. So yeah, as the creature's taken another chunk out of him, he's backing off again. But as he backs off, he's going to whiplash the scimitar out, try and catch it, upside the bottom of its chin. Nope.
Oh no.
Nope, that's another terrible roll.
Oh, you have to do better than that. Filth blood. Fulgur.
Yep. Magic's not helping me, so I'm gonna flick the magic off my fingers, bring up my light crossbow, and shoot it for 22 and 4.
It hits, you catch it in the face, but not the eye. Spits out a part of its tongue as it's now bleeding heavily on the ground, but it's not dead yet. Lances up, really exposing itself before swinging down again, leaving that massive vulnerability open, and it'll cause the next attack against it to have advantage for its really expose its position as Kidac swings his war pick down again into the back of the creature. It's just deflected by the pauldron on its shoulder as it twists around to greet him, plunging forward to ram its head against Kidac as hard as it can. It punches in. This time it gets through Kidrex's defenses for 8 damage. And then Izi.
You can have that right back. And I will. I was screaming at Yjekke to stay up, Yjekke, and just took my eye off it and completely.
I can't remember if we're doing flanking or not.
We're not.
Okay.
It's behind a skill challenge. Give me a role play thing, and I'll ask you for a skill roll. And
That's right. That's right. Got it.
But
I knew we did something.
yeah. Okay, Yjekke. If you attack, you've got
All right.
advantage.
Yeah. So seeing this thing open itself up, Yekka's gonna, sensing that this is a kind of all or nothing moment, he's gonna really put his fucking all into this, and just drive himself forward with all his remaining strength and bring his scimitar down. With a 23 for 8.
That does it. The creature
Down across the throat, going for the beheading strike.
with its
I'm still
last
looking. Woohoo!
flapping, bleeding tongue, it looks up. It goes, "Thank you." Fulgur.
Help!
Looks like you got that, so I'm gonna turn my attention at the animated armor, and I'm gonna loose a crossbow bolt with that. For 22 and 3.
Still hits. Not great damage, but it still hits. And it goes in.
I'm helping.
It would hit through an eye socket, but the arrow goes further than it would if it would be stopped by bone, just passing through the eye slit and hitting the back of the helmet with a sickening twang as it kind of splinters around something not wholly flesh, but not wholly air. And Kidac
All right down there, Yjekke.
Kidac swings high with his hammer. It's still just not enough to stop the creature that's pushing its assault, attacking again and again, slamming down its head into Kidac, looking for a way to get through the defenses that it just can't find. Before Izzy.
This is just bare rage born of frustration. No.
Can't find an opening in this creature that's able to just twist on its center point to put its hands up and block the blow that was coming in. Yjekke?
Right. Yeah, Yjekke turning from the corpse that sort of has slumped in front of him. He's going to pick up his longbow again. Which is that an action?
That's an action.
I think it is. Yeah, but yeah, he's going to pick up his longbow and move up this way to get a proper angle. That's his turn.
Okay, Fulgur?
Yeah, that crossbow didn't do much, but I'm gonna see if I can make the echoes of a bell ring inside that helmet. So I'm going to start tracing the sigils in the air again and toll the dead on the animated armor.
Okay.
DC 12 wisdom.
12, so that works.
So that's 10 radiant damage as the bell just echoes out of the armor.
So the head rings, it rises its hands up, and this black and purple spectre floats maybe 15 feet into the air before being driven away on the wind, and the armor falls clattering on the floor into pieces, now only held together by the clasps, still gleaming eerily.
Izi, Kidac, you alright? You look a little tired.
I've been better, but seems we've got our prize.
Have we got free movement now?
Yeah, we're out of combat.
I'm running over to Yjekke, just having seen him nearly die, which is why I missed all of those hits. And he can have some healing hand for 2 hit points.
Oh, thanks.
I think I was worried for you there.
You don't need to worry. I mean, thing has claws and teeth, but it was all talk at the end of the day. You know, I was fine. You can see blood, like, still coming from a few places, like, under his armor, where there are, like, gashes in his flesh, but he's just like, it's fine!
I'll nod agreement and give you another bro slap, but it's a really gentle one.
He kind of, like, winces a little anyway, but tries to cover it.
At least your ego's not hurt.
I'm gonna pat Yjekke on the back too. Like you did good work there. You got that Nothic, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Yjekke.
Oh.
No one cares
For
about our
9
employer.
Oh no, he's when he comes over, I'll give him a little bit too. But I saw Yjekke almost fall.
You worked.
Oh.
You worked surprisingly well together.
It's not first rodeo, mister.
Mr. Blackbane, would you like some healing as well?
If you have the spell available, I wouldn't be opposed.
Absolutely. I mean, where would we be if we lost our employer? And I'll take his hand, shake it, and do another Cure Wounds on him.
And while we are here, Mr. Oh, sorry.
The dribble of blood that's running down his forehead from the headbutt off the armor earlier on knits back together, and he takes a rag out of the side of his belt and wipes it off, wipes his own blood off his face.
Better. Izzy, you look like you were missed as much as you missed.
Thank you.
Are you okay? That's not an insult.
Yes, it was.
It's a thinly veiled insult.
I might be stupid. I'm not that stupid.
Well, all I'm saying
I'm gonna
is,
walk back and pick up my shield.
I'm still shouting at us, but you're all right?
And while our party continues to bicker over the successful outing of today, that's where today's episode will end. We will be coming back in 1 week's time to pick up on the adventure of this foursome.
Are we good?